15th, 2021 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held via video conferencing in accordance with Governor Cuomo's Order 202.1. And until further notice, all of the board's meetings will be held remotely. So we ask the public to continually check the town's website for updates and new information. There are also options on the website for public comments and to pre-register to speak on public hearings. So please consider that for all future meetings. If you wish to view tonight's live meeting only, please do not join the Zoom meeting. Please go to the town's meeting portal, choose the meeting group from the drop-down on the left, and click on the live link at the top of the page. If you wish to be heard during a meeting, but did not pre-register, please go to the town's meeting portal, choose the meeting group from the drop-down on the left, and you will find the information required to join the Zoom meeting. With that, I'd ask you that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of
America,
and to the republic
For which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one nation,
nation, under God,
under God,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice
for all. But before we continue, I just want to ask for a moment of silence for Charles Styler, who has worked. We work with our board meetings because he was a part of CTV for many, many years, and he passed away this week. Charlie began his career with the town in 2005, and he was one of CT's first employees. Charlie was a known presence on so many town and community events over the years, including filming our own ZBA meetings. He will be sorely missed by many, including all of us here on the ZBA. So I just asked for a brief moment of silence in his memory.
For the record, I
Yes.
will also miss him. I worked with him for 15 years. Great guy.
he was a great guy.
Great guy.
He was a great guy,
Yep, and helped us all the time. with
all
anything
the
we
time, all the time.
Yep. Okay. All right. Before I continue, I also want to introduce the newest member of our board, Susan Kern, who's here for her first meeting tonight.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We welcome
very
you. Okay, and look forward to working with you. All right. We will be starting this meeting with the public hearings. We have applicants and members of the public standing by via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. Charles Certain will mute the speakers until it is their time to give testimony before the board. Please be patient. If you find that you are having difficulties accessing the hearings, please visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Also, there are a few public hearings and decisions that will not be heard this evening. They're going to get adjourned. So please listen to hear when they will be rescheduled for. We'll be doing that shortly. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking, other than attorneys, will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. Board members who must recuse themselves from any application will state so on the record and will be removed from the meeting until the end of the hearing. Unless otherwise stated at the end of each hearing, all of these applications will remain open for written comments for all purposes until April 29th, 2021, when they can be sent, and they can be sent by them via email, mail, and/or dropped off at Town Hall. Additionally, in accordance with the governor's order, these hearings will be recorded and will be posted on the town's website. And with that, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So, second.
Yep. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
I'm going to abstain because I was not at the last meeting and I did not view the meeting on video.
okay. Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa,
I was not at the last meeting, but I did have the opportunity to review it on video. So with that, I vote aye.
okay. And Ms. Curran.
I was not at the last meeting, but I did view it on video, so I guess I can vote aye.
Okay, and chair votes aye. All right, so minutes are approved. And so next we're going to go on to adjournments.
Okay, the Germans this evening is, we'll start with item 6 on the agenda, which is NYSELEX Real Estate Holdings Development Corporation. I'll move that we adjourn that to our May 6th meeting.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill,
What
Aye.
date? What date did you say? May what?
May 6th, May
May
6th.
Okay.
and Brian, were you the second?
I was.
You were, okay. All right, so Mr. Tudhill,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
chair votes aye.
Okay, item 8 on the agenda, which is Round Dune Inc. I'll move that we adjourn that to our 6/3 meeting.
Second.
Mr. Tudhill,
All right,
Mr. DeSessa,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
chair votes aye.
okay, the following decisions will be all put off till our May 6th meeting. John Morris and Jean Morris, Hampton Meacox 1 LLC, 85 Eastway LLC, 747 Flanders Road LLC, 749 Flanders Road LLC, Barbara Swislowski, Patrick Bradley, and Frank Frey. I'll move that we all put that off to our 5/6 meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we'll go back to the beginning of the agenda. New applications. Item 1 is Bernard and Carol Somoff, 101 Woolies Drive, North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-43-2-23. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code for a proposed swimming pool on a non-conforming lot. 1, 330-11, residential districts table of dimensional regulations for an accessory front yard setback of 22.6 feet, where 50 feet is required. And 2, town code 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts. And 330-83C yards, to allow the proposed swimming pool to be located within the required front yard for the principal building and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Good evening, Deputy, just have to swear you in. You can state your name and address, please.
Daphne Vaughn, Surfside Environmental Planning, 225 Montauk Highway, Moriches, New York, 11955.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do,
Thank you. Can you tell us about the application?
yes. So this subject property is located on the east side of Woolies Drive. Do we have a copy of the survey?
Yes.
Okay.
We do, but you want it to go be on the screen?
Well, I didn't know if Candace was gonna show it or not. It's either way, it's okay, if you all have it. So it's a semi,
Daphne, I think it's important to put the survey on.
Yes, I agree.
okay,
1 minute.
So people can have a better idea of the problems that this property has.
Okay, let me try to load it. Give me 1 second.
No problem. Take your time.
Okay, so while she's doing that, so we have it's a semicircular shaped lot. So the majority of the parcel has road frontage on Woolies Drive. The property is in an R15 zoning district, and it's conforming in square footage at 15,991 square feet, but it has this odd shape, so it makes it a non-conforming lot for that reason. So let's see if she's got that survey up yet.
Daphne, are you able to screen share?
Yeah, but she may find her version of it faster than me. Oh, there she goes.
Gotta be ready for these meetings.
Just helpful when the applicants can share it, so we don't have to have Candace digging through and
Right.
around, just going forward if we can.
Okay, I do
Please.
have the photos associated with this on my screen, ready to go.
Perfect.
So I can show those as well, because it is a helpful tool. So, okay, so as you can see, the lot is semicircular, and it is mostly fronting on Wooley's Drive. There's an existing 2-story residence that has an attached garage. There's also a seasonal screen porch on the north side of the property. All of these improvements have certificates, except for an outdoor shower enclosure and vinyl arbor / trellis that's adjacent to the garage corner on the south. Marge Riley brought those to our attention. The shower's been there since prior to this owner, and I think that the arbor, they just didn't realize that was something that needed a permit. Neither item requires a variance, so that's not part of really anything. So at the present time, they're requesting to construct the 16 by 32 in-ground swimming pool on the north side of the residence. As you can see there in blue on the survey. So it's in proximity to that screen porch on the north end of the property. It will conform to the side yard setback at 11 feet from the western property boundary. But we will require relief from 330-11 for the yards for the front yard setback of 48.9 feet on that north end and 22.6 feet on that northeast corner of the pool, where 50 feet is required. We sited the pool such that it is level with the front corner of the house, facing the eastern side, so that there, it's not intruding any closer than the existing residence on that eastern side. So the variances that we require from that 50-foot are 1.1 feet on that northern corner and 27.4 feet on that northeastern corner. So
It's a challenging shaped lot with this pie-shaped lot. I had an opportunity to drive by the property, and I mean, you have basically a half circle.
Yeah.
Have you heard from any of the neighbors?
Yes, this afternoon I spoke with Mrs. Cardone, Josephine Cardone. She's actually, her property is 112 Wooley's Drive. She's located directly across the street from the northern side of this parcel. She had no concern about the pool itself being there. Her only concern was during construction, she did not want to see them block her driveway across the road. I didn't think that that would be an issue because there's some significant vegetation over there that we're trying to not disturb because it would act as a naturalized buffer. I think there's also a telephone pole that is shown on the survey that is over there. So otherwise, she did not have any concerns. She's the only neighbor that I heard anything from with regard to this.
Yeah, I mean, screening would be my question. There is some screening there, but it could disappear. It is a pool. There is a lot of street, so I didn't see a screening plan or anything that was proposed. Maybe I perhaps missed it or something.
Yeah, no, we didn't submit anything formally, but the owners are amenable to doing some further revegetation here, or adding additional screening. I can share my screen to show you the photos if that's okay. All right. Okay, so here we go. So this is the front of the house on Wooley's Drive. There's the garage on the south side and that trellis that I mentioned. Okay, so this now is looking northwest, basically beyond this tree in this cleared area is where the pool will be. So you'll see there's a fair amount of large trees there on the property. I do have some other angles. So here, this is basically the pool would be about where these red chairs are in this cleared area. So there's a fair amount of existing vegetation here that the goal would be for it to remain to the fullest extent possible. So this is a closer up view of that proposed pool area. And of course, there will be a whole fenced in portion around the pool to further, demarcate any boundaries. So yeah, we're looking at putting the pool basically right over here in keeping with this front line of the house.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll wait to hear from neighbors, but I would like, just as one member, to see a screening plan. When I drove by, I mean, you see the whole yard. Yes, you have a lot of mature trees, but the canopy is high on those.
Right.
Versus something like 6 to 8 feet, which would screen, the pool and users from people walking in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and that would be
what else here, but
obviously-
that's something that, I would be looking for.
Yeah, and I'm sure that anyone that would want to swim in this pool would also benefit from having that privacy, because there really, this is a wide open street frontage lot. There really is no rear yard here. So yeah, the pool would actually begin about midway through this masonry patio that's at grade. This one tree would have to come down in order to construct the pool. Maybe these pines may have to be removed, but otherwise all of this vegetation along the road would remain. There would be a fence probably just beyond these trees as far as things are concerned. There's that LIPA pole. But yeah, vegetation could certainly be beefed up here to maintain some privacy for both the owners as well as the neighbors.
Yeah, I think it's a good suggestion, and I'm all for doing some screening beyond what's already there. And I just want to mention a couple of other things. First, that there is no conforming way of locating this pool on this parcel. It's not possible because of the shape of it and because of the setback from Willie's Drive. So you have no choice but to get variance for it, number one. And number two, a pool is a common amenity, and I don't necessarily see negative impact on the neighbors. So.
That was actually the rest of my speech. Thank you.
Daphne, I'm concerned about the privacy issue, because when I went to visit the property, the neighbors right next door where the pool would be, I could hear everything they said. They were in the backyard. They have not commented at all about any of their concerns?
I have not heard from anyone except for, as I had mentioned, Ms. Cardone, whose driveway is actually across the
street, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, I'm concerned. I agree with Brian. One of the things I would like to see is the what you propose to do in terms of the fencing, and because it's so close to the road, this pool, the fence is an integral part of this plan here. And
the fence is actually shown on the survey.
Well, I know. Does it have a self-locking device?
Well, it would have to be.
Yes, I definitely. Yeah.
I think I'd like to see a planting plan and what it's going to look like, because it's really.
I agree. Can you get that to us, Daphne?
Sure, I can get you something.
Okay, great. Any other questions from members of the board or comments or Katie? Okay, if not, is there anyone who is waiting to be heard this evening on Zoom in connection with the application of Sumoff? This is for our property located at 101 Willie's Drive in North Sea. If you're waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
I see no hands.
No hands. Okay. All right, then Helen, it's yours.
Adam, shall we adjourn for this plan that Daphne's going to give us, or just have it as part of our submittals?
I think it's okay with submittals.
Well, in that case, we'll close the public hearing, keep it open for written submittals for till April 29th. Daphne, I hope that date works for you. And we'll have a decision for you on May 6th.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa,
Aye.
Mr. Tudhill,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Your vote's aye.
Thank you.
So much.
Have a good night.
You too.
Daphne.
Item 2 on the agenda is Liliana Danzo, 22 Lakewood Avenue in East Quogue. Suffolk County Tax Map 900-339-1-47 and 902-4-3-19. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code. 1, for a proposed one-story addition with a proposed covered deck and a proposed second-story addition to an existing dwelling. 330-115C, continuance for a principal front yard setback of 13.8 feet where 23.3 feet is existing. 330-11, residential district table of dimensional regulations for a side yard setback of 19.6 feet where 20 feet is required. 330-11 for a front side yard relief of 16.3 feet where 60 feet is required. 330-84D pyramid height for a proposed encroachment in the amount of 1,003 cubic feet north side. 2, for a proposed screen porch addition to the existing dwelling. 330-11 for a principal front yard setback of 36.3 feet where 40 feet is required from the west property line, Lakeside Lane. And 3, to legalize a shed constructed without the benefit of a building permit. 330-11, residential districts table of dimensional regulations for an accessory side yard setback of 7.1 feet where 10 feet is required, and an accessory distance from street setback front yard, west property line, Lakeside Lane of 31.6 feet where 50 feet is required. And 2, 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts. 3, 330-83C, yards to allow the metal shed to be located in the required front yard of the principal building. 4, 330-76, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts for an accessory building located 3.4 feet from the main building where 5 feet is required on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Good evening, Leon, I just to swear you in unless you're an attorney.
Hello?
Hi, Liliana,
Hi.
can you hear us?
Yes,
I just have to swear you in unless you're an attorney.
I swear.
Okay, so if you can state your, raise your right hand, if you state your name and address, please.
Liliana Danzo, 22 Lakewood Avenue, East Quogue, New York, 11942.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you. If you can tell us about the application.
Okay, as you see in the survey, the lot is in a weird place. So it's a, not conforming. I only have 1 bedroom, okay? And I have my family and we just live in 1 bedroom. What I'm trying to do is make it 3 bedrooms, and the only way that I can do it is by going front and go a little bit up to make the 3rd bedroom. I can't go on the sides. And the back, I have the wetlands. And it's a very hard for me situation for get the space that I need.
Candace, can you zoom in on this for us, please?
So it's a 8,000 square foot lot. So it's a, you know, we dealt with smaller, but it's a relatively small lot.
Yes.
And there are challenges here, including wetlands. That having been said, I want to ask, because I'm going to, about the metal shed. Do we know who put it up, when it went up? Do you know anything about it?
No, when I bought the house, it was there. So when I went, trying to get an application, I just say, to ask for the, a permit. I asked if it was, it have a permit. I didn't. So I said, well, let me apply for the permit.
And then you denied the permit, and that's, part of this application.
Well, the problem is I don't have a basement. It's enclosed space. So I don't even have a space to put anything in the house. Base that is 1 bedroom. I don't have a space for much. So that's why I need that basement. That's why I'm applying for it.
For the shed.
The shed.
So, all right. So you don't have any information as to how it ended up being there. What kind of condition is it in?
Right now it's a metal shed, and I wanted to, fix it up because I got to fix it up, the roof and stuff, but it's there.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked about that is because in order for us to grant approval, and I don't know whether we're going to, for this metal shed, it has to be able to be stable enough to withstand a major storm.
Oh no, it is. Right now, the only thing is, it is stable. I mean, they can come and check it out.
Okay. All right. So maybe you can just talk in a little bit more detail about exactly what relief, the setback relief and the other relief that you need.
For what? For the front of the house, the back of the house?
For all the relief you're asking for. Okay. So I understand you're trying to fit the addition into what is a small lot constrained by wetlands. So maybe you can talk a little bit about why, for example, it's, going, a proposed addition is what appears to be, I think, to the east. And actually, I understand that is the place that is the direction you would want to go in, being that the wetlands are in the west.
How big is the house? The proposed house?
I don't know. I think it should be there in survey. I think it's 500 feet or 600 feet. I think.
Yeah, that's your lot coverage. The house for the lot coverage is 591 square feet.
Right.
Okay.
But it must be a small house if it's 1 bedroom.
Yeah, it's 1 bedroom. It's a small.
Very small. We don't see 1 bedroom houses.
Have you heard from any of your neighbors?
You asked me?
Yes.
No. Everybody was saying, okay, good. But no, they haven't said anything about negative or anything like that. Everybody is saying, because my house, it really needs repair. It needs help. So everybody is happy that I'm doing something good for the neighbors.
Liliana, did you ever revise the survey to show the village boundary line? Because that was one of the things that we needed. I don't know if the board's noticed this, but this property is split between the town and the village of Quogue. So
right. Yeah, everything should be in the survey. It's not in the survey.
I don't know. The survey is very busy. I just want to make sure, because we have to refer it.
Because that's one of the things that they ask, and the surveyor is supposed to put everything in the survey, but yeah, should be there.
Yeah, and also.
Okay, well, we'll just.
I'm sorry. I was going to say also all the measurements for any variance relief that you need to be included on the survey, and I couldn't find all of the measurements on there. So we just want to make sure they're all on there. I'm sorry, Katie.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, we're gonna have to come back for more testimony because we have to refer this to the Village of Quogue. This property had gone to the town's conservation board for permits. And then when Liliana made these proposals, Candace and I were speaking to the Village of Quogue to figure out, should they process it? Should we process it? But when we had referred it to the village initially, they didn't see the boundary line on the survey. So I just want to make sure it's there. I haven't studied it. I don't know that it's there, but we need to keep this open to hear back from the village.
Yeah, I can't see it on this. Perhaps it's a different,
Yeah, it's not there. That definitely, I don't see a boundary. Yeah, don't see a boundary.
I'm trying to find it.
yeah,
It'd be
I'm
closer
not
to
seeing
the
it.
street.
There's a flood zone
Closer.
line, but that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. In the conservation authorization, they required the removal of a frame shed. And is that the metal shed? Because on your survey, you have metal shed, proposed lot coverage, metal shed of 129 square feet and a frame shed of 37 square feet. So was that ever removed?
No, the frame shed is there. I supposed to remove it or move it to another place. If you see next to the house, the shed is going to be redone over there. Move it to there, to that place. And the survey, you can see that the frame shed, and I supposed to just move it out from where it is right now.
Okay, and that needs to be referenced on the survey that is to be moved to a conforming location. Since you're working on the survey anyway, that should be there as well.
Is she gonna hold on to it, or she wants to get rid of it? What's she want to do with it?
Well, we're thinking about trying to remove it. If I can remove it, just take it out and redo one on the side of the house.
So I think the shed's going to be an issue in my mind. And one of the things is anytime we have a building that's closer to another building, less than the 5 feet, which you're requesting here, we typically ask for a letter from the fire department or emergency services to make sure that it's not a safety concern. I don't know. I mean, if you could look for that or work on getting that when you come back, because it sounds like we do have to come back for some things in terms of notices and referrals to the Village of Quogue.
That's for what, the separation between structures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll find out for that. Because we just went through this on one of the other ones with Kevin Springer, and I think the fire marshal had just said that the structure has to be made out of a special kind of wood or something. It wasn't necessarily for the spacing, it was for the proximity for fire.
Yeah, safety issue. So I think we should address that if that's the situation here. And that's if the shed stays. I don't know if we're there yet, but let's, it sounds like we have to come back.
Yeah, and a lot of relief is being requested for this metal shed.
Yep.
Yeah, so it would eliminate a lot of the relief if the shed wasn't part of this. And I don't know that I don't think there is a conforming location at all for the shed. I mean, that's the problem with this lot. But
It's pretty busy.
It's very busy, and yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe a bit of a trade-off, but I'm just one board member.
I
I
agree.
mean, there's like steps everywhere. There's like 4 different sets of steps. And that'll, this is like a 10-pound house on a 5-pound lot,
Well, and they need a bigger house.
Analogy,
One
Mr.
bedroom
Grant. I
house,
like that.
no question.
Yeah.
They need a bigger house. So they need the bigger house and the metal shed, which is not small. I mean,
Right.
and it's right next to the wetlands. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wet up in that area. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well,
Notice-wise, how long before they have to come back, or how much do we need?
Well, like I said, Liliana, you definitely have to have your surveyor put that boundary line on it, because the village, like I said, even though the village has agreed, to let the town process this, they certainly are interested in how much of the improvements are within the village boundary line. So as soon as the survey can be revised, we'll send it to the village. I just don't know how long it will take to do that revision. I don't think it's I don't think they have to go out to the property. They probably just have to look at it, but I would say 2 weeks after the survey is revised.
Okay, so what I have to do now is just get the line, talk to the surveyor and make sure that he does the boundary line, and that's
Boundary
it?
line, and make sure all setbacks relief being requested is included on the survey, and that the frame shed that's to be removed or moved to a conforming location, that's indicated on the survey. So those three
Oh,
things.
you have to be, okay, so you have to show where that is and say that it needs to be removed, or a
Well,
note?
it can say removed or moved to a conforming location. It can say, you can either have both listed or one or the other listed. It's up to you
Okay,
when you
all
decide
right.
what you want to do.
Yeah, and because that shed is, has been there for a long time, you need a letter from an architect saying that it's stable. I mean, I know you said it is, which is great, but if the board's inclined to grant relief, they're gonna need to know that it's not gonna, blow away.
Oh, sure. Okay, so do you want it from the architect
Regarding the shed, yep.
regarding the shed? Okay.
All right.
So I need three things. One, three things. One, the line boundary. The other one for the shed, the thing for the
Yep,
for
location.
the location. And I need from the architect, I need a letter saying that it's okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
You also have to make sure that with the surveyor, that all the setback relief being requested is on the survey. Because I think there are a couple missing.
All right. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry.
I want you to also make sure with the surveyor that all of the setback relief that's being requested as part of the variance application, all those measurements are on the survey, because I couldn't find them all.
You couldn't find them all?
Nope. I think there are a couple missing.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking right now.
My architect is trying to get into the meeting, so maybe he will know about the shed.
Okay, what's his name? Charles can look for him.
Alex, right now, Alex.
He's raising his hand. 1 second.
Okay. So I circled, Katie, the 16.3 measurements.
Okay, he's coming.
Find that one. I couldn't find the 31.6.
Yeah, I have everything but the 3.4. I'm just looking for 3.4.
And the 3.4. Okay. If they're
3.4.
there, I'm glad.
Oh, I found the 3.4. I found them all.
I
Found
found,
them all. They're there? Okay, good.
Yep.
So we don't have to worry about the setbacks.
no, they're there.
Hello?
Well,
Okay, there's Al.
Hello, Alex. I just have to swear you in unless you're an attorney.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, if you can state your name and address, please.
Alexander Khan, 2103 Wave Avenue, Medford, New York, 11763. I'm the architect.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you can tell us what you'd like to tell us about the application.
Sure. Just let me open up real quick. Wasn't sure we were going to be this quick. So Liliana is looking to do a 2-story addition. It's requiring several variances because of the unusual placement of the house on the lot. As you see, it's at a 45-degree angle. And if the house was just angled slightly different, we would avoid a lot of the variances that we were even asking for.
So we need a few things, Alex, and I think we have to come back because we need to do some referrals. One being We'll need a letter from you as to the condition of that shed that you're trying to legalize, the metal shed that is, with respect to the current wind criteria on a storm. We're going to send a referral over to the village of Quogue to weigh in since this property straddles the line. And then, oh, I'm reading, sorry. I thought I read mine, Mr. Grossman, not yours. So I apologize. I'll let you finish up on that. So
It's all right.
That's fine. We need a letter for the condition of the shed for the wind loads.
yes.
Okay. What else? What else are we gonna need here?
Well, we're gonna need the survey revised, and so that's not you.
Yeah, I was coming in, I heard that part. I think it was John Gallagher. He had a lot of dimensions on there, as well as myself. We had a lot of different dimensions on our site plan and survey. They're still missing dimensions.
They're not actually.
I think I found all of the dimensions. But what we
I still
need is
haven't found
the boundary line between the village and the town. And a relocated spot for the other shed that apparently the conservation board wants moved.
The conservation board wants to move the shed.
Frame shed.
Frame shed, I guess.
It's the frame shed.
That's-
Once
that's
it's
a large
removed,
Shed by the, they want it removed.
yes. It's in their conditions.
Is there a way with that we can relocate it?
Well, that's what you gotta find out. Is there a conforming location?
Well, I put it in a survey. You see it is where it's supposed to be removed. It's on the side, north side by the steps.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just trying to pull up this survey for us. Site plan.
Oh, you're saying that's where you're going to relocate it to?
Right. That's where it's going
Oh,
to
all
be
right.
located.
That's the proposed location, yeah.
Got
Right.
it. Okay. That's, I mean, that's right on top of the house. So, on top of the steps.
Is there a way to flip the
On the
camera?
side.
Oh, here we go. Whoops. All right, so the shed that you're talking about, they want removed is this large shed over here behind the house?
No,
No.
it's another one that you haven't seen, Alex.
There's another one, a third one?
No, this one is going to be placing, that's a new one.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that one is a new one. It's another one next to the big one that you haven't seen. Alex.
Okay. Got it. But is the
I mean-
conservation board okay with this large shed?
Everything is, I mean, I got all the permits for everything.
I don't know. The Conservation Board referral report says minor project modifications are now being proposed, which necessitates filing a request to further modify the wetlands permit. The modifications include relocation of an existing shed, construction of a second-story deck, and construction of a second-story access with landing. So if those are on this survey, he probably just means you have to modify your wetlands permit.
Yeah, those are all on the survey.
Okay, so then you have to modify your wetlands permit. I don't
No,
necessarily think that,
The wetlands permit, if you see it, I don't know if you have a copy, they know about it. That's why they told me to move that frame shed and relocate it, and we redo it.
Okay. We
Okay.
also got comments from the building department about the pyramid calculations.
Okay.
Actually, why don't I read them? So this is from Marjorie Riley, building inspector. The elevation diagram for the metal shed located on the westerly property line shall be revised to show pyramid height and building height in accordance with the following, calculating based on average natural grade and using the spot elevations facing Lakeside Avenue as shown in the survey prepared by John Gallagher, dated March 8th, 2021, and draw the pyramid line from all property lines using the grade plane as applied to the subject structure on the lot. Note this average elevation, the setbacks from the property line and the amount of encroachment, cubic feet and square feet, must be indicated on the pyramid drawing. This method will establish a grade plane and form the basis of calculating the volume of encroachment. The applicant shall submit this information in order to verify the accuracy of the diagram and pyramid calculations. Pyramid relief may be required.
Yes, I've read that letter. But what I've read in the zoning code is that the pyramid doesn't even encroach into the shed by the way that I'm interpreting it. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong.
Well, I suggest that you talk to Marjorie. I mean, it may be fine. It may be fine, but I want to make sure that Marjorie is satisfied.
No, it's fine. I just want to show you. Here is the shed floor elevation, and here is the design flood elevation at the 10-foot mark. And the way I read your code was there was a 45-degree angle from the design floodplain elevation, not from the grade line. So as you see, that doesn't encroach into the shed.
So we'd just like you to communicate with Marjorie about it. Okay, just want her to be satisfied with the calculation.
Okay. Let's see.
I have a question. And that is, what is the purpose of the second floor access with landing?
The purpose is to get to the second floor.
But most people get to the second floor from inside their house.
That's a question for me. I wanted to have access to the other side of the lot without going all around the house to get access to there. Because I love gardening, so I wanted to be able to bring stuff over there, take care of my garden and all that stuff. That's all the purpose of having that steps.
So because that sounds to me like setting up for an apartment or something on the second floor. You can't get to your garden from the back door of your house, or you can't get to upstairs from inside your house?
It will be a convenience for me to go to the other side. That's all.
Okay, well, I can't really see that. I have to get a copy of the survey myself to see that. It seems like there's stairs everywhere. I mean, on all four sides of the house, and it seems like a lot of requested relief for a very small lot, and I'm concerned about it.
Most of the lot is on a giant hill. You look at the grading, so the steps are required to get around the lot because nothing is flat. If you take a look at the floor plan, I'm showing you where the stairs are that we're requesting. As you see, that's directly accessed into the main house. So I don't see how a second story apartment would be conceived that it's going into the main house dwelling. There's no way to really separate that landing from the main house and the second floor.
Okay, thank you for that. I just
and the reason that there's so many stairs is because it's a huge slope down. The whole lot slopes down from the road down to the water.
Yeah, and Liliana, it's not your intention to have an apartment. You're just looking to have ease of access for gardening and for getting around your property, correct?
Right, correct.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Alex, do you have the square footage of the house and the addition?
The square footage of the house, let me see.
Existing and proposed.
I might have it on the first page. Liliana, do I have those numbers anywhere offhand?
No, we saw just on the survey, the lot coverage for the house, but we just were wondering, how big the house is, how big the addition is.
That's fine. The second floor is 456 square feet. Let's see. The first floor addition. The first floor addition is 288 square feet.
So the total house is about 1,100 feet is what you're proposing.
Let me get this last number. Do you want me to include the covered porch in that square footage or no?
No, just the
No.
house.
Just
That's
the house.
fine. Okay. The main existing house was 578 square feet. So 578 plus, was that 288?
And 450,
and
456.
456 plus 288 plus 576, right? So it's around 1,300 plus the covered porch, which is 16 by 12, is 192.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, it seems to me that there's some things that need to be answered in my mind, and the applicant has to come back.
What do you need answered?
Well, we need to get a letter from you regarding the shed. We need to
Okay.
get the survey revised to put the line on with the village, and then we have to notify the village so they can weigh in if they're gonna have anything to say. All of which is gonna take some time, so we're gonna have to come back. So I think it might be the appropriate time to pick a date.
And
That's
I know that one of the issues that the village had just, by way of their code was the presence of two sheds. So that's why I just was interested, about that second frame shed.
But before we talk about dates, I'm sorry, go. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Katie. Go ahead.
No,
Anybody-
that's okay. That was it.
Anybody from the public, Adam?
Public, yes. Is there anyone from the public who's waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with the application of Danzo this evening? This is for 22 Lakewood Avenue in East Quogue. If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
I see no hands.
Okay. And I forgot to ask whether there are any other questions of the board of or Katie, of Liliana or Alex.
Not this time.
Okay. If not, we're gonna.
There was just one item I wanted to show you guys. I'm just trying to find a picture of it. I created a picture of rendering showing the plane of the pyramid dissecting the house. If I can just find it here. I just wanted to show you the whole model to show you what's actually penetrating on the pyramid itself. As you see, it's really just a small corner of the house. I mean, it seems like a lot, but there's really not that much penetrating in this pyramid.
Yeah, and I believe the
All right.
pyramid was relatively modest.
All right, tell them to get a hold of Marjorie and let's move on.
Yep, okay. All right, so the only other question is when you want to come back.
When's the next meeting?
Well, the next meeting is May 6th, which will be 3 weeks from today.
If that's good for Liliana, I'll make it a point to make it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, but again, it's not going to be worth coming back until we have a referral from the village. So you need to get that survey, revised as soon as possible.
Okay, so should I let you know when can we?
Can we adjourn to the next meeting and then adjourn again if it's not ready?
Well, let's
Sure.
think about this. We could, but I mean, Katie, it's normally 30 days after we send the referral, isn't it?
Well, yes, but the village is waiting for this.
Okay.
We've been having ongoing conversations. I did mention this, to Liliana in an email back in January. So the village is like, when are we getting it? What does it look like?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's room on the agenda, you can certainly put it on, but without that referral, you're just gonna have to come back again.
Right, yeah, so there's room on the agenda, so I will make a motion that we adjourn the application of Danzo for all purposes until our May 6th meeting. And hopefully by then we'll have everything ready.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill,
aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mrs. Testa,
Aye.
Joe votes aye. Thank you both. Have a good rest of your evening.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, item 3 on the agenda is Julia and Andrew Hartman, 45 Palo Alto Drive in Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-268-5-12. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code. 1, 330-84D pyramid height for an encroachment in the amount of 1,432 cubic feet for a proposed first and second story addition. And 2, 330-115C continuance for a principal side yard setback of 13.9 feet where 14 feet is existing for the proposed two-story addition on the westerly side of the dwelling on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Good evening. Who's here on behalf of the applicant? Mr.
Kevin
Springer.
Springer.
Hey,
Good evening.
Kevin. Okay, if you can, so swear you in, state your name and address, please.
Kevin Springer, 61 Channing Cross, Hampton Bays, New York.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You can tell us about the application.
I can. We can start with the non-conforming. If anybody has taken a ride out there, has looked at the overview, the actual entire street is filled with, except for maybe 1 or 2 lots, all non-conforming lots. This one is about 10,500 square feet, a little less than a quarter of an acre. The original dwelling is set back at 14, which is on the entire street. The majority of the setbacks are 14 or less, some are around 13. So the conforming, it's I'm a little questionable about the 13.9 since it's supposed to be in line. I think it's maybe a little bit angled to where it comes in a little bit.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say it needs to be 14 in my mind. Like, why are we doing 3 inches
Well,
here?
because I think, and I have to check with the surveyor, but I think the house is angled just a hair, but if you look at it, it should be 14. I question that one myself. And again, even the neighbor next door is 13.3 on both sides. They're all very tight lots. So that's basically with the nonconformity. None of the lots are really big except for one on each end. There is a double lot on the beginning and towards the easterly end.
It certainly wouldn't change the character of the neighborhood, That's an old Stonewood Homes development down there,
Yeah, all the houses were built in the early 70s to mid 70s. And what we're proposing is a den would be the first floor addition off the back of the garage to square off the house somewhat. And then we would run the second floor above that, and the garage would just be a master bedroom. We're currently the house is kind of small. It's 833 square feet. And it's 2 bedrooms. And currently there's 2 parents and 2 children living in this dwelling. So the idea is to add the den for a little more open space downstairs. And then the second floor would just be a master bedroom with a master bath. It doesn't.
What will be the square footage of the final product?
We're at 833 currently, and the total would be 1644. So we would basically be doubling part of that. We got 233 for the den on the first floor and 578 for the master bedroom and bathroom on the second floor. So the house still will only be 1644. Our neighbor to the west is a little over 2,100 square feet, and the neighbor to the east is right around 1,500. So again, it fits in there. The houses towards the western end of the street, there are a lot of high ranches. So we're still going to fit right in. The house to the east, 1,500 square feet, is kind of a semi-cape house, but with only a 1-story garage. It's not a second story. I've spoken to 2 neighbors. The one directly behind at 11 Lovell, and her neighbor next door at 13 Lovell. 13 had no problems. 11, her only concern was that we're not turning it into an Airbnb, which I this is their only dwelling. So that is not an option at the present. I don't. Let's see here. Any other notes? I don't think there's much else. I mean, as the matter for the pyramid, as far as pyramids go, it's relatively minor. And the house next door, which would be impacted the most by it, actually, if they were to build their house today, would actually be encroaching on the pyramid more than we would be, but they were built in the 70s and that wasn't an issue back then. So I don't know if you have any questions. I do have two. I saw the notes from Marjorie.
Yep.
She had mentioned something about if we were to get rid of the front porch and the finished basement, we would need a building permit, but we're not doing that anyway. I don't know why that even came up, but I have not had I sent her an email, but I have not heard back from her yet.
Maybe just run us through the 5 factors of the test briefly, Kevin.
Well, they're both CO'd. The partial finished basement is CO'd and so is the front porch. I don't have anything on this property that is not CO'd. So we don't have any other building permit issues. And again, the house is going to be, all said and done, 1,644 square feet, which is not large by any stretch. And we're still only going to be a 3-bedroom house. So I don't know if anybody has any questions.
I don't have any questions. I think it's a good application. I've been down to that area and I think it meets the 5-part test, Brian. So,
Yep. The only thing
Just waiting to hear him.
right, that Brian
Just
suggested.
waiting to hear him on the record.
is seeing if we can make that measurement 14 feet and not 13.9.
Yeah, I will actually call the surveyor tomorrow because like I said, when I pulled it out again and I'm like, I didn't remember seeing that. And
yeah,
I don't know how it would be 13.9 because it's going to be, the foundations are going to line up. Right. So I don't understand how that would be jutting out that way.
Yeah.
So I will get you an answer and I will put it in writing and get it to Candace in the next couple of days.
Very good. Okay, any other questions or members of the board? Is there anyone from the public who is waiting to be heard this evening in connection with the application of Hartman? This is for property located at 45 Palo Alto Drive in Hampton Bays. If you're waiting to be heard on Zoom, this will be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
Not one hand.
Not one hand. Okay, if not, Keith, it is yours.
All right, I'm gonna move to close it with a determination on 5/6, leaving it open for written submissions until 4/29.
Second.
Keith, what was that, 4/29?
Yes.
4/29 for written submissions, Kevin.
Okay.
Determination on 5/6.
Okay. Our next meeting. Okay. All right. And who was the second?
Second, Michael Daly.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Tuthill.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Jessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thanks so much, Kevin. Have a good rest of your
All
night.
right, thank you all. Have a good night.
2. Item 4 on the agenda is Viva Group LLC, 5 Kings Lane in North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-99-1-51. Applicant requested determination that the subject parcel, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-99-1-51, is held in single and separate ownership from all adjacent parcels and thus entitled to relief pursuant to 330-115D. In addition, applicant requests relief from the following provisions of Town Code 330-11, Residential Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations. 1, for the proposed dwelling, a principal front yard of 40 feet at the north side and 51 feet at the south side where 80 feet is required. A minimum side yard of 15.5 feet where 25 feet is required. A total side yard setback of 38.2 feet where 65 feet is required. And a rear yard setback of 56.4 feet where 100 feet is required. 2, for the proposed covered front porch. A principal front yard of 38.5 feet where 80 feet is required for the proposed in-ground pool, an accessory side yard setback of 14 feet at the north side of the property where 30 feet is required, and 4 for the rear yard, for the rear deck attached to the proposed dwelling, an accessory side yard setback of 22.7 feet where 30 feet is required on a non-conforming lot, and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Good evening. Monica, I'm set to swear you in unless you're an attorney. You can state your name and address, please.
Monica Majewski, 30 Stoller Drive, East Quogue, New York, 11942.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Can you tell us about the application?
Good evening, everyone. I represent the owner, which I understand it's listening into if you guys have any questions. So this property is located on a road with some non-conforming and some larger lots. West side of Kings Lane is mostly non-conforming lots. Behind my client's lot is a vacant wooded area of 8.3 acres of land. So since this lot is not conforming, we're here to ask this board for setback reliefs to replace the existing dwelling, some side yard setbacks for pool, as well as covered front porch and a rear deck. The proposed dwelling will remain as one family and will increase existing footprint about 840 square feet to north side for a garage and a second story addition. And to the back by 168 square feet to the existing footprint. The pool needs a side relief of 14 feet on the north side for required 30 feet setback. This lot is single and separate. In the early 60s, I think it was subdivided, we believe, from that vacant lot on the back of 8.3 acres behind the northwest side of Kings Lane. And I would like to mention, I don't know who came out to, anyone came out to look at the lot today?
I did, yes.
Okay, there was, on the north side, there's an empty patch that I guess goes to the 8.3 acres on the back. And that used to be called Helens Lane, which was a collector of garbage for years, I'm assuming. And this was cleaned by the owner to date. So using the existing structure was of 1.5 story frame that the existed house did not make sense due to the challenging status of the dwelling. It was in a really poor condition. So we did apply for demo permit, which we obtained on July 20th of 2020 for a full house demo, which was done. Final inspection wasn't completed yet though. To date, we received the Department of Health approval for a new cesspool, and also we're able to get Suffolk County Water Authority to run a main water extension from North Sea Mecox Road to Kings Lake to bring the city water to the street. Looking at the area maps, I want to say that more than 50% of homes have existing pools, and there are multiple lots with similar sizes that have been improved with over 2,000 square feet homes. Just to give some examples, across the street, there is a 0.36 acres a lot with house that has 3,800 square feet and a pool. And on the North Main Street, there's a few 0.3 acre lots with a similar size and pools, you know, just to give examples, they're all in the same zoning of CR60. So the proposed house is in consistent character to the neighborhood. And, you know, we're not increasing any density since the house was already on the lot. We don't think that a hardship was self-created since the lot is non-conforming. It has been created as such as a part of subdivision. We believe it was 1963. The asked variances will not cause undesirable change to the neighborhood. So behind the lot, there's, again, empty wooded area on the left. We have on the north side, we just have that Helens Way, and we're not moving towards the neighbor on south. We're going towards the empty part, which I'm assuming will be a way to get to those acres on the back.
Monica, it looks like
Yes.
the neighbor to the south is already using some of that right of way or land that's included in the 8.3 acres as their
Okay.
driveway. Is that right? Is that what you see as well?
Yeah, this was just, like I said, garbage collector, and now it's clean. I'm not sure if they're using it, but at some point, the people that owned 5 Kings Lane, they did apply for relief to use this right away, but and you know, never really did anything with it. So I'm not sure what this was. Again, their lot is much larger, so I don't know why they would need to use it, you know.
But I do want to talk a little bit about the requirements for single and separate status. So I want to make sure that this lot has its own tax map number, has its own deed, has not been used in connection with any of the adjacent parcels.
No, since 1963, you know, it's been single and separate. It has its own tax map. So, you know, that was determined by the title company.
Okay.
So we're sure of that. We did get some comments from the building department regarding the pyramid height calculation.
Yeah.
But this was revised to date, and we resubmitted the new plans to Candace. So that was all done.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of the survey in my package. I mean, there's a small version on a page with a lot of other information.
I wish I could share it if I knew how. I'll share contents. Let me see if I can.
Have you submitted that to the office?
Yeah. Can you see it? Oh no,
Yeah.
that's the old one.
Yeah, because a big packet was submitted today. I'd suggest that the board bring her back, you know, so the building department can go over all those comments and take a look at all the written submissions so that we're not, you know, continually reopening this.
Right, I agree.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
Yeah, we can't work off of something that was just submitted on the day of the meeting.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The survey was revised on March 26th, and that's when it was submitted, the day off. So yeah, you had it for about a month. I'm not sure why it wasn't included in a packet.
Right, but there's comments that talk about the site plan and the survey not matching. I mean, there's a ton of building department comments.
Yes, because the comments from building department mentioned survey from 2019, which is not the one that I, you know, submitted to the town. It's actually a different surveyor.
Right, but the site plan has to match the survey. The information has to be consistent with both documents.
So we're going to need you to come back so you know, in order to clear this up, and also give us an opportunity to review what you submitted today, because we haven't gotten it yet.
Right. Okay.
And in the meantime, Monica, I would definitely reach out to Marjorie Riley in the building department, okay, about her concerns. So, you know, if her concerns are addressed by the time you come back, that would make things much easier in terms of moving forward more quickly.
I was under the impression that they were all addressed, but I'm not sure what happened to.
You may call her and she may say they're all addressed, but I want you to make sure that's all. Okay.
Yeah, confirm with her that they're all addressed, and then we will get an opportunity to get all the documents that are matching. Anything else, Katie, that you were suggesting?
No, like I said, it's, you know, when there's that many building department notes, you know, if Marge has everything, then she would have submitted a memo saying, we're good, you know, everything's been addressed.
Okay,
So
but she did not. Okay.
No, I don't know what the disconnect is.
Yeah, well, there's lots going on, so there's, people need time to dot the i's and cross the t's. So, so when would you like to come back, Monica? Would you like to come back? Are there any other questions or comments?
Any other questions of members of the board? And Mike, let me just ask, is there anyone from the public who is waiting to be heard this evening in connection with the application of Viva Group LLC? This is for property located at 5 Kings Lane in North Sea. If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this will be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
There are no hands.
No hands. Okay. So back to when Monica wants to come back.
Sure, Monica, our next meeting is May 6th. After that is May 20th, I guess.
Can we come back on May 6th?
If you think you'll have spoken with the building department and make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Excellent.
good. So let's, I propose we continue this till the May 6th meeting, and we'll see you then.
Second.
Second, okay.
Daly,
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you for being here this evening, Monica. We'll see
Yeah.
you May 6th.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
All right. Item 5 on the agenda is Edward Burke Jr. and Patricia Burke, 57 Hampton Road, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-5-2-17.
Looking for Steve Kiley?
Yep, Steve's right there. Hi,
I'm
Steve.
here.
How are you?
Ah, there he is.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Am I on? I'm good.
You're on.
All right.
Ready
You're
for
on.
you.
Well, just so you know, I got my second shot yesterday of the Rolls-Royce vaccines, the Moderna. So if I keel over, you know why. Okay. I'm very tired. Not due to a blood clot, but just because I am very, very tired. But I'm gonna soldier on here for my clients. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and rest of the board. My name is Stephen Kiley, and I'm the attorney for the applicants Edward and Patricia Burke, owners of 57 Hampton Road in Noyak. I'm here tonight with the applicant's architect, Anthony Vermandois, and our environmental consultant, Bruce Anderson from Suffolk Environmental. Is there any way we can let Bruce and Anthony in the rooms because they're going to be handling the sharing of documents?
Bruce and who?
Bruce Anderson from Suffolk Environmental and Anthony Vermandois, the architect.
Matt Evans.
Matt, yeah, it'd be Matt Ivans. You can let him in.
Sorry, Matt Ivans.
That's fine. And then there should be a Verman.
Okay.
Anthony.
Got him.
Okay, just waiting to see people like coming up. Okay, there's Bruce.
There's Anthony.
And there's Anthony. Okay. Well, before we continue, you want me to swear them in?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll start with Bruce. Bruce, if you can state your name and address, please.
Bruce Anderson, Suffolk Environmental Consulting, offices of Main Street, Bridgehampton.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
And Anthony, I have to swear you in as well, unless you're an attorney, so you can state your name and address. Can you state your name and address, please?
Anthony Vermandois, 68 Union Street, Sag Harbor.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we are here tonight seeking to procure an area variance from section 330-84D2 of the town code, better known as the Pyramid Law. The subject property is improved with a one-story dwelling, outdoor shower, deck, and two-car detached garage. The structures are CO'd via a pre-CO from 2008, which was based on an affidavit that stated that these structures have been in existence since prior to 1957. The subject lot was created by a 1925 subdivision and is located in an R10 zoning district. It is a conforming bayfront lot in an AE6 flood zone. In terms of minimum lot size, it is 14,000 square feet, where 10,000 square feet is required. The lot width is 76.38 feet, where 75 feet is required. And the proposed lot coverage is 18.65%, where 20% is the maximum lot coverage allowed. The applicants are a family of 5 and looking to make this their forever home. And the existing dwelling is too small at 880 square feet to accommodate their needs. Thus, they are proposing to demo the existing dwelling and construct a 3,045 square foot 2-story home with porch and pool. The first floor is 1,450 square feet. The second floor comes in at 1,595 square feet. So construct the home, but also a porch and pool, along with upgrading the septic system to an alternative wastewater system. The situs of the proposed dwelling will be centered on the lot and meet all R10 dimensional setbacks. It should be noted that the existing dwelling is non-conforming in 2 important areas. 1, the existing single-story dwelling is violating the pyramid law by piercing the subject sky plane by 1,080 cubic feet. Secondly, it has a pre-existing non-conforming 4.3 foot side yard setback off of the west lot line. Alternatively, the proposed footprint will hold a 15-foot side yard setback where only 10 feet is the minimum required. It will also hold a 15-foot setback from the eastern lot line. The house is proposed to be constructed in a FEMA compliant manner, as it is located again in the AE6 flood zone. And as such will be built to only a height of 39 feet, where 42 feet, 40 plus 2 foot of freeboard is the permitted maximum. However, due to the narrow lot size, albeit conforming, any reasonably designed FEMA compliant 2-story dwelling would necessarily require pyramid relief. Originally, we sought a variance of 12,528 cubic feet. However, due to a miscalculation and a tweaking of the plans, we are here tonight asking for just 5,534 cubic feet of relief. And here, as previously referenced, we have a pre-existing non-conforming sky plane encroachment of 1,080 cubic feet. Thus, if we are grandfathered in, we are merely asking for 4,454 cubic feet of relief. Additionally, we are no longer asking for lot coverage relief, as the pool was mistakenly taken into account in calculating same. And once that square footage was removed, we come in under the 20% maximum. Lastly, the deck that was originally proposed will be redesigned in a conforming location so as to not necessitate the section 330-8839C and section 330-76D relief as referenced in the agenda. So tonight, we're only asking for 1 variance, and that's from the pyramid law. I would now like to ask the applicant's architect to speak to the specific design of the proposed dwelling.
Okay, good evening, Anthony Vermandois. So I think one thing I want to address first was just the reason for the initial miscalculation on the cubic footage calculations. That was my mistake. I inadvertently used Sag Harbor's rules for FEMA zones rather than Southampton Town's rules. So a good portion of that difference between what was originally noticed and what we're asking for is due to that. The other difference is we also, as Stephen mentioned, we made some tweaks to the design, in particular, making the building 1 foot narrower and 3 feet shorter, and then sort of reworking the roof line in the rear third of the house to make it less bulky. And in fact, that rear third of the roof line now just barely penetrates the sky plane at the at its outermost eaves. The design itself, I think, as you can see, is pretty straightforward. It's just a rectangular shape with a gabled roof. I'm sorry,
I think, Bruce, can you put up the plans?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Architectural plans, please.
And Mr. Chairman, after Anthony's done, I'm going to ask Bruce to speak, and then I have some closing remarks that if I could make them first before you ask questions, it might answer certain questions you might have.
Okay, well, I can only speak for myself about if you're going to jump in.
All right, thank you.
Right, okay, there we go. So as you can see, basically it's a 4-bedroom house. All the bedrooms are on the second floor. The first floor is just living space. Also, because we are in a FEMA zone, there's also a small mechanical room on the first floor. There's also a screen porch out to the back. Materials are going to be pretty traditional, cedar shingle siding, standing seam metal roof, clad casement windows, and brick veneer on the chimney.
Okay, well, we had received the plans in a submission, so we do have them.
Anthony, do you want to just tell them ceiling heights on the respective floors and the utility of the second?
Sure. So the ceiling heights or plate heights on the on both floors are nominal 9 feet. That's pretty much standard for construction these days. They're not going for anything extravagant like 12-foot ceilings as some people are doing. And the ridge is just, the pitch on the roof. I believe it's an 8. I believe it's an 8-12 pitch. So pretty much a middle of the road kind of roof pitch, typical for both modern and traditional houses in the area.
All right.
And I would say also this for the FEMA, the top of finished first floor is, I think it's at 9'6", and that's just enough to work with the FEMA +2 and the thickness of the floor structure itself.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Now I'd like to introduce Bruce Anderson from Suffolk Environmental to discuss the character of the subject neighborhood and the environmental conditions of the subject property.
Okay, thank you. Can we go to the survey, please? Okay, can you all see the survey?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make, just before I get into the neighborhood, I want the board to understand that the frontage on this lot is 76.38 feet, but functionally the lot width is 60 feet. And that's because it's angled to the street. And so you have a house, proposed house that's got a 15.5-foot side yards on each side, centered, as Mr. Kiley pointed out, which exceeds the 10-foot minimum side yard setback, and also exceeds the 25 total side yard setbacks. So in doing so, you're minimizing the pyramid relief, because the closer you get to a side yard, the more relief you need. So please take notice of that. If one looks at this neighborhood, these lots were created in the 1920s, and it was originally settled, as you all know, as sort of a summer colony. And limited and constrained lot widths are the character of the neighborhood. And so even if you were to apply today's R10 standards of that minimum 10-foot setback, it is highly likely that you violated the pyramid law. And in fact, just if you drive the neighborhood, you will see that the neighborhood is predominantly 2 stories, which means that the predominant character of the neighborhood is one of noncompliance with respect to the pyramid law. Now, as you know, the pyramid law was adopted in 1992, and this neighborhood was fully developed well in advance of 1992, and hence the pre-existing non-conforming nature of the neighborhood. we've done a fair amount of work in this area, zoning included, and we had prepared a zoning analysis. And we identified, most of the work I do, by the way, is waterfront development. And so we were able to identify a dozen properties along the stretch of waterfront for which this property is located. And we found that, you know, of those dozen, there were 4 where they were earlier, generally earlier variances where they just gave pyramid relief and didn't specify. But if you look at the actual houses, you'll conclude, as I did, that the pyramid violations would be quite significant. The other thing to understand is that the degree of relief granted up and down the neighborhood varies greatly, and among the actual cubic foot published. So the smallest relief we found was 463 cubic feet, and the largest cubic relief we were able to find was 20,972 cubic feet, which brings you to an average among the published relief of 8,440 cubic feet. Now, my feeling is if you were to add some of these older ones, that 8,440 is probably a very conservative average, in that if we were able to study those more easily, that number would probably increase. So here you have, you're requesting a relief of 5,020 cubic feet, which is significantly below the average relief that has been granted along the stretch of waterfront. Now, these lots, as they come in to be redeveloped, there's a big environmental portion of this that's worth noting. And of course, the big item is the upgrade of the sanitary system. And so you see an IA out system. It's actually the Fuji system, which is come into being, and that will greatly remove nitrogen in the bay, which is something that's very critical among waterfront properties. Also, you should know that any and all runoff generated from hard surfaces will be controlled and appropriately managed. That the setbacks from the bulkhead are fully compliant. In fact, the bulkhead pre-exists 1992 and extends for more than 100 feet. And so the structures proposed have been proposed in such a way as to pull back from the bulkhead by more than 50 feet, and therefore are not regulated pursuant to your wetland ordinance. You should also know that the existing house is located almost right up against the property line by 3 or 4 feet. You'll see that it being demolished, the entire structure is being relocated landward by about 30 feet. And so I would draw attention to the existing house, which is shown in stippled outline. And as Mr. Kiley correctly pointed out, it too is in violation of the pyramid law by, I believe, 1,080 cubic feet. So what we're asking to do here is pretty minimal. The additional relief being the difference between the 5,000 and 1,000, basically 4,000 cubic feet, which is half of what we have been seen as an average in terms of the relief granted, and probably less than half if you were to include all the non-conforming houses in this neighborhood, due to capturing an R10 10-foot setback on the side yard. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
All right.
And I'll send it back to Mr. Kiley.
All right, thank you, Bruce. So in sum, the granting of the subject pyramid relief will not, 1, cause an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to the nearby properties, As Bruce clearly showed, the proposed dwelling would actually be in keeping with the character of the neighborhood, and the side yard setback to the neighbor to the west is proposed to increase threefold and will be 5 feet greater than what is permitted. An alternative wastewater system would be installed, thus there would be a net benefit to the adjoining neighbors. And based on the distance of the footprints of their dwellings respectively, they are far enough away so as to not be impacted by the subject pyramid violation. 2, the granting of the variance cannot be achieved by some other method, as the property is significantly constrained by the combination of the narrowness of the lot, FEMA regulations, the 50-foot wetlands buffer, the space required for an alternative wastewater system, and the historic development of the lot in terms of the location of the detached garage. Further, there is no other way to construct a reasonably sized house for a family of 5 with current or future partners, even though mom doesn't want to hear that, without creating other nonconformities and encroachments. 3, the variance is not substantial. The consequential pyramid encroachment is large when measured against the nonconforming sky. I misspoke. It's the modernist speaking. The consequential pyramid encroachment is not large when measured against the nonconforming sky exposure plan historically set in this neighborhood. One can argue it is the right sky exposure plane for the neighborhood. Further, based on Suffolk Environmental's report that will be submitted, this board's average pyramid variance grant for this neighborhood, as Bruce said, is 8,440 cubic feet, and here we are merely asking for 5,534 or 4,454 cubic feet if grandfathered in, which amounts to 2,906 or 3,986 cubic feet less than the average. 4, there will be no adverse effect or impact on the environmental conditions, as the pyramid relief only has to do with keeping homes in a more traditional scale. And here, as discussed, the encroachment is in keeping with the homes within the neighborhood. Further, the proposed dwelling itself is being moved back approximately 30 feet landward, deck to deck, from where the existing dwelling is, thus a clear environmental benefit. And as stated previously, a new alternative wastewater system will be installed, thus another environmental benefit. And lastly, bringing the property into FEMA compliance has an inherent environmental benefit of reducing the possibility of flood damage. In conclusion, and in accordance with the prior submissions, prior precedent, and today's presentation, we respectfully request that the instant pyramid relief be granted.
Okay, well, thank you for the detailed presentation. I want to first mention I'm glad to hear about the changes to the in terms of the removal of some of the relief that's being requested and the correction to the pyramid. I also want to mention in terms of pyramid relief that sometimes for newer houses to be FEMA compliant, you have to go higher than some of the houses that are in the neighborhood. So the fact that it's a little over 5534 cubic feet with compliance with current FEMA standards is I think worth mentioning as well. Anyway, so those are just my initial thoughts about the application. I think overall it's a good application. Anyway, those are my comments. I'm not sure whether any other members of the board would like to mention anything, or Anthony. Mr. Trezza, actually, I didn't get a chance to say hello earlier. Thank you for joining us.
How are you, Adam?
I'm doing okay, and feel free to jump in anytime. We
I appreciate that. That was a good
All
presentation.
right. Yeah, listen, it's a constrained piece of property by size, by, FEMA and everything else. I think they've done a nice job here with their potential plan here, and I think it's a good project.
Do we have a letter of non-jurisdiction from the Conservation Board?
Not at this time. We're applying for one.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to wait for that.
Yeah.
Because some of the adjacent lots do have wetlands permits.
Yeah, but we fall
Excuse
into
me?
that exception due to the 50-foot setback from the bulkhead.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, can you just get us the letter of non-jurisdiction from the Conservation Board? That would be good.
Sure.
Anybody from the public, Adam?
Sure. Well, any other comments or questions from members of the board? Is there anyone from the public who is waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with the application of Burke? This is for property located at 57 Hampton Road in Noyak. If there's anyone who's waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
No hands.
Okay. All right. Not Keith, it is yours.
Okay. Have we told the con board we're looking for a referral? You're gonna, go ahead.
I want to make a point, and I'm hoping the board can move on this. And my point is that it may be that, part of this is the demolition of the existing house. That's 51 feet away as well. So I withdraw my point. Everything we're doing is outside their jurisdiction.
All right. You're gonna get a letter from them non-jurisdiction?
Yes.
Yes, we will.
Okay. All right. How much time do you think that's gonna take?
It could take a fair amount of time because they're very backed up in that department.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna close it and leave it open for written submissions till the 29th of April. And we'll have a determination in our second meeting in May, okay?
Keep it open for longer for written submissions. If we're gonna put it on for the second meeting in May, keep it open till May 6th or something.
All right, we'll do that, all right? Written submissions to 5/6, and determination on, May 20 is the second meeting?
May 20th.
Yes. Okay. Do we have a
Okay.
second?
Second.
Mr. Tudhill,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Ms. Kern. Ms. Kern, we can't hear you.
Sorry.
That's
Aye.
fine. Okay. Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you for your testimony this evening. Have a good rest of your night.
Yes, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Everybody get vaccinated. Good night.
I already did. Thank you.
Good luck with that Moderna stuff.
Yes. Moderna affected me on the first day after the second shot too, but it went away.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
All right, item 7 on the agenda is Diego and Marlene Quisby, 828 Flanders Road in Flanders, Suffolk County, tax map 900-143-3-47.
Yeah, we got Dave Radican and his clients.
Yep. Need to see them.
They're here.
Adam, you taking this on? This was Jason's or?
Hello. Are we on?
You are on.
You can put your video on.
Oh, the video has to go on.
And yeah, I'll take the lead on the application.
All right. We'll give it to Susan.
Unless Susan wants. Susan, you want it? No. No. We'll give you a nice easy ones to start with.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. So maybe you can give us an update as to where we are.
What's the update? Give them the update as to where we are.
Yes, with our previous session held over from the 18th, the board had asked us to seek the status of the health review for the new IAOWTS system. It slipped my mind, but 6 weeks prior to the 18th, we received a notice of incomplete from Suffolk County Health, and one of their requirements stated that we needed to get a decision or a copy of decision from the zoning board. they cannot go forward with the application until that takes place. I emailed Katie Garvin that notice of an incomplete letter. She has it in her file for her review, and I believe she will substantiate that. The Quisbys would like to see this brought to a vote. They're here tonight. If you have any questions for them, I would say that what they did was not a good decision. It's caused them a tremendous amount of grief. They've paid a mortgage and taxes for 2 years. We're still trying to get through the Conservation Department, which has been a struggle with Mr. Shea. He's somewhat upset with there's a degree of concrete driveway that again 6 or 8 years was placed, and he would like to see that removed. Where we've placed this new, or where the engineer has placed a new IA system, he's not in conformity with that. He thinks it should be in a different location. So the health department is a stone's throw away from completing and approving our application. I would like to say that the one of the problems here is that these lots, all these lots in Flanders are on low. There's a high water table, so there's complications with that. These are things that the Quisbys have run into. The creek or the pond that they're concerned with is over 104 feet away. It's 2 properties away. The construction on the second story did not expand the outline of the house. The height was 17 feet 3 inches. The height now is only 20 feet 5 inches. As far as changing or creating less value to the neighborhood, that's anything but the case. All of the homes in the area are absentee owners. They're all renters. And I believe Quisbys are the only homeowner in the area. So I would urge the board to possibly take a vote this evening if we're found worthy. Again, Marlene and Diego are present at the meeting. If you have any questions for them or if they have final comments, I would appreciate that.
Okay. Let me see that the applicants, Mr. and Ms. Quisby, just wanted to ask if you'd like to state anything to us. Tell us your thoughts.
Working tomorrow. Well, what is this today? Lucas. Well, we just want to. What we think is, what my husband thinks is, we just want a decision, and I mean, whatever you guys decide, we really would like to keep the house the way it is. You know, it costs a lot of money. We have, like I said before, that we had our second child, so we thought, with a younger child, with a bigger family, so that's why we made up the house bigger. So I mean, we're like really, stressed out with all this stuff, and I mean, yeah, we just want this to be over already. So I mean,
Is the resolution stay the same?
Okay. All right. So we did get the notice of incomplete application. So we do have that. Katie, my one question to you is whether that, is sufficient, which I think it probably is. If they can't submit until they get a variance, that's, nothing they can do about that.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. The ZBA doesn't usually require the Suffolk County planning, they don't usually require the health department approval, but I am concerned about the conservation board because we're, that we typically, you don't grant variances until the issues before the conservation board are resolved. And I know that we did get a referral from Marty that said that it did comply, but that the application was incomplete. So that's up to the board if you want to proceed without that. And I wasn't sure, did we get a submission on the breakdown between what the existing pyramid is, Dave? Because you had said at the last time you appeared that there was already an existing encroachment.
Was there an existing encroachment? She wanted a breakdown of the pyramid?
Pardon?
Did I get that right? A breakdown of the okay, you were supposed to give a breakdown of the pyramid and
Existing versus proposed.
and the proposed.
Yeah, we did that last session. I gave you the numbers. If you'd like me to present that to you again.
No, if we have it, I just wanted to make sure we had it.
So
I thought it was supposed to be on the plans.
Yeah. So I think the issue
Is
report.
it on the plan?
What's that?
Is it on the plan?
Yes, it is on the plan.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So
Katie, excuse me, I think, Katie, I think you said this, but the Conservation Board says that although the application is incomplete, the proposed construction conforms to the setback requirements of Chapter
Yes.
325. Okay.
That's what the referral report says.
Correct. So the question is whether that's satisfactory or whether we want them to do something more with Conservation Board. At this point.
They're still going to have to comply with Conservation Board no matter what we do, correct?
Yep.
Yes, and it looks like it's proceeding as an administrative wetlands permit. So
yes,
that's less of a concern than a full-blown permit. But I just I wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually what the concern is if we have a Conservation Board issue where they need to apply for permits, the concern is that the Conservation Board will change the application, change what's being proposed. But here we have a memo from Marty basically saying that
discussion.
At least as it presently existed, it should not be an issue. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed, but I mean that's what we have. Yeah. So the question is, are we going to close, or do we want something further from conservation?
Speaking for myself, I wouldn't have a problem taking a vote.
I agree.
They're going to take a vote.
Not tonight. We're not taking a vote.
No, I
tonight.
don't mean right now. I'm
Close.
Right. Closing the public hearing.
Yes.
Right. And I'm good with that too.
Okay.
Keith, how are you about all this?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Okay, just wanted to check. All right. Okay, so before, first of all, any other questions of members of the board before Kate? Okay, is there anyone from the public who is waiting to be heard this evening in connection with the application of Quisby? This is for property located at 828 Flanders Road in Flanders. And so if there's anyone who's waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
No hands.
No hands. Okay. If not, I would move that we close the application this evening except for written submissions. The deadline for written submissions is end of business on April 29th. And I will have a decision ready at our May 6th meeting.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr.
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Sessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we want to do one more or take a break?
One more.
Okay, one more.
Item 9, 16 Sagamore LLC, 16 Sagamore Road in Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-230-1-20.
Is this Susanna?
Yes.
Is Susanna here?
Yes, she's coming.
Yep. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
So, you guys ready for me?
We're ready.
Yes. Yep. All right. This is a continuation from previous meeting. And so, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
So our application was this. So really, I'm here really just to update the board on where I am with my client. Our application was for a 2-car garage, which the board felt was not subordinate and was too large relative to the size of the existing house, which is about 1,000 square feet. And so I relayed your concerns to the homeowner. You had suggested making it a 1-car garage or doing 2 1-car garages, not exceeding 50% of the square footage of the residence with the accessory structure with any one accessory building. So he's decided to go ahead and plan and to add to the proposal a new house, because that was his eventual plan for the property, to build a new 2-story house there. He wasn't planning on doing it right away, but based on your feedback and the which was, as you may recall, pretty negative, we've decided to go ahead and change the application so that we would be asking for different variances, because it's only a 10,000 square foot house located in the resort waterfront business district. So we have overlapping front yard and rear yard setbacks. So whatever we do, we need variances from this board. So our proposal would be to do the same garage that we were previously proposing in the same location, which needs a rear yard setback variance to go from 50 feet to 10 feet and needs some pyramid relief as well. I think we're down to 600 something cubic feet of pyramid relief that's currently required. And to propose a 2-story house, that would be 2,040 square feet. But it would need variances from front, rear, and side yards. Let me zoom out.
Susanna, are you withdrawing your present application to make another application?
No, we'd like to amend the application.
Well, I don't think that this is the appropriate venue to do it today. Have you
No,
said?
I'm assuming that we're going to have to hold this over. The architect can't design a new house in a couple of weeks. So the architect for the project is in the process of putting together floor plans and elevations that I would submit to this board. But before we go through that whole process of designing a house that the homeowner had not intended on building right away, I did want to get some feedback from this board if that's possible.
Absolutely, that's fine. That's fine. That's the way to proceed. But Helen, you're absolutely right. The neighbors have to be notified. This is now a different application.
We have to have a new application, really.
Well, I think they could amend the application as long as the neighbors are notified.
Right. So I would propose that once the architect has come up with floor plans and elevations, that we amend the forms. So I answer all the questions with all the correct setback variances that we would need. We would probably need some pyramid relief for the new 2-story house as well. And we would need setback relief, as I mentioned, from the front. So in resort waterfront business, front yard is 60 and rear yard is 50. So with the 100-foot depth, we can't physically do that. So no matter what we do, we would need setback variances. So I don't have those exact numbers yet. I think this is where the house would go. I think this is the approximate size. So it'd be just over 2,000 square feet of first and second floor together. And just to refresh your memory, our proposed 2-car garage with some space above comes out to 951 square feet. So
I think you said 941 last time.
Did I say 941? Okay.
But it's under 50%.
You can,
The calculations I do based on the numbers that I have on this architect's plan now, we're at 46 something %.
Yep.
And that could fluctuate a little bit, but this is the order of magnitude that we would like to propose. 2,040 square foot house, 940 square foot garage. It's a 24 by 24 garage. The house is 30 by 40, which would also have a deck that's 360 square feet.
I think it's great. I was okay with the 24 by 24 garage. I did miss the last meeting. I did review that though and heard other board comments, but I was fine with the garage and I'm fine with this proposal, you know, subject to you coming back and advertising and we can go from there. But I think this is in my mind without seeing it. I can't commit to saying, yes, I'm good, but this is the general direction that I would be okay with.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm barking up the right tree here, that I'm in the right ballpark.
Yeah. I'm good with it.
And
That is the concept. Yeah.
And it's also making the dwelling much more conforming, right? The current dwelling is
Exactly.
very close to the property line.
Yeah.
The current dwelling is 1.1 foot 8 inches from the property line, which is actually in character with the neighborhood. All of the houses that are in this area, which I showed at the last hearing, there's a lot of nonconformity there. So yes, we would be bringing the house, going from 1,000 square foot house that's all the way up against the property line and centering it as, you know, in a reasonable location on the property, and making it, you know, a more livable size house, 2,000 square feet, more or less.
All around a big improvement.
Great.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
All right, so I'm going to direct the architect to continue designing the house along this line, this strategy, and can we go ahead and schedule the next hearing?
Sure.
With notice and with getting all of this together, we're probably going to need a little bit of time.
Yep.
And I don't know what your schedule looks like, but
Yeah, I mean, I would say the second meeting in May is probably the earliest I would imagine with all you're gonna have to do. I mean, you could try to do it for May 6th, but we do have three weeks between the meetings, but yeah, I think it's unlikely. So maybe May 20th.
Well, Susanna, how long do you think it's gonna take the architect? Because if you want to do, because I know you said it's gonna take more than a couple of weeks. Because if you want to, you won't be able to do May 20th. Because those advertisements actually go in the end of April.
can we do the next one then?
Okay, so if you want to go for June 3rd, I would need all the documents at least by May 3rd.
That may be cutting it close.
Let me just see, May 3rd one. Wait, I may not have that day right. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Go for the second meeting in June.
Unless we can make it work.
Yeah, so I would need it, you know, at least the first, you know, well, the week of May 3rd, so that we have just enough time to review it. The advertisements don't go into that following week.
Okay.
But I want to make sure we have enough time to review the application. So I'm kind of going with Keith. I think the second meeting in June.
What's that date again? June?
The second meeting in June would be June 17th.
Okay.
And that gives you enough time to get it to us. I can get it to Marge. She can review it and we can go from there.
Okay. That sounds realistic. Hopefully.
Okay. Excellent.
Hopefully the architect doesn't kill me after I tell her the deadline, but I think that's doable. I think that's realistic while keeping the client happy.
Yep. Okay, any other questions or members of the board? Is there anyone from the public who's wanting to be heard on Zoom in connection with the application of 16 Sagamore LLC? This is for property located at 16 Sagamore Road in Hampton Bays. If you're
No hands.
No hands?
Nope. With that being said, I'll make a motion to hold 16 Sagamore LLC.
Re-advertise.
You're gonna re-add? All right, re-add We'll do a re-add for 6/17.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Tuthill,
All right,
Mr. DeSessa,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Daly. Mr.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
chair votes aye.
Hey,
Thank
You
you
wanna-
for being here tonight. Yes.
you want to keep going? There's only one more left.
Well, we have one more left and we got decisions. What do we want to do? Do we want to keep going or do we want to take a short break?
You want to keep going?
Well,
Keep going.
Always wants. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. Keep going.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your consideration.
Thanks. Have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, you too.
number 10 is 135 New Light LLC, 135 New Light Lane in Bridgehampton. Suffolk County Tax Map 900-84-1-33.2.
Okay,
All
we
right.
are looking,
Hi, guys. Hang on one second.
No problem.
I'm in sunny Watermill right now, and I've lost power twice. So,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. And I'm trying to get you back on camera. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Good evening. I apologize for that little mix up there. Of course, it goes out after a couple hours, but my name's Harry Fornaris. I'm the attorney for 135 New Light. That is Richard Perello. He owns the property, and we're coming back today after the 1st November appearance. So
Maybe you can give us an update.
absolutely. So at long last, I see Jones on the call as well, along with her clients, and my client Rich is also on. So we do have some progress. I sent in a letter late this afternoon to Candace, just updating on the progress that we ended up agreeing to remove the tennis court variance applications, essentially in the interest of trying to come together on the height variance request. So I have that letter in. Again, it was a little bit late and I apologize for that, but that has been submitted. So we're withdrawing the application with regards to the tennis court. I also submitted the cost estimate for the essentially reducing the roof height for consideration. That was requested last time. So that's the latest right now on where we are. And I'd like to just review any questions on your end and then discuss the what we want to do about the height moving forward.
Okay. So there have been some changes to the application. So why don't we talk about the height? The applicant still needs a height relief.
Yep, correct.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, I thought someone was speaking. We noticed a potential discrepancy in the height calculations on the survey and reviewing it over the last little while. We were focusing on the tennis court and then pivoted over to the height. And we'd like to continue to review just for a bit longer with the surveyor to see if we can just confirm the 1 foot 4 inch variance request essentially, and to see if there's any, or essentially see if we can see if the, or confirm his height calculations and then bring it back to either confirm that or to show that it may actually be a bit less. And then that might influence just the board's kind of opinion or view of the height variance request, for an ultimate decision later on.
Okay. Oh, before we move any further, we need a taker on this application. Jason was lead on it. Don't be shy.
Keith will take it.
Keith will take it. Okay, excellent. Thanks, Keith.
No problem. Thanks, Pete.
Okay, all right. So Harry, I don't know if your client wants to say a few words, or I figured I would ask, or would he have someone else that you want to have speak to us?
As of now, no. I plan on having Mr. Perello submit just a written explanation on why the building continued after the height issue was discovered. I know that came up last time, and we just want to be clear on that. So we're going to have something sent in this week, or probably tomorrow or early next week, just to explain that for the record. And that'll come along with just the confirmation of the height calculations that we had previously that were calculated about a year ago. And that's our plan moving forward. So I know Rich is on here, and we plan on doing that just to update the board on that concern that came up last time, to just explain the situation, because it was something that came up.
Okay. All right.
John, were your clients okay with the height now? John, you're muted.
Yep, we need to, there you go.
The qualification is they had discussed, maybe if I could share my screen, I could show you what the issue is.
Okay.
The principal dwelling is set back, far back on the property, so it lands up looming over their backyard. And the existing screening that they put in really isn't high enough. So they had spoken to Mr. Perillo about putting in 20 to 22 foot screening for the distance of the house to the corner of their rear yard. And we haven't reached a resolution on that, but that would be our request. The other request that we would have, just unshare. How do I unshare? The other request we'd have, if it's possible, is that the tennis court variances be withdrawn with prejudice, so that our client isn't dealing with these again in 2 or 3 years.
Well, I don't know about withdrawing with prejudice. I think.
So we, and Rich can speak to this, and we'll confirm the height of the current screening now, but the 20 to 22 foot request is fine. We understand the request and essentially agree to that, but we're not in the position to covenant anything moving forward on tennis court applications. It's just outside of our area right now, in our discretion.
Well,
as the
we can
owner.
always ask.
Of course. But the screening is agreeable, and we're amenable to that. And we are withdrawing the tennis court, of course, today. So, our goal is to make something work here.
I don't know if my clients want to speak.
Sure. Hi, I'm Fred Brett Schneider and my wife, Michelle.
Yep. Did I previously swear you in?
Sure.
Did I before? Because if I did,
they were previously sworn in. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, so you can just state your names again. That's all. Okay.
So, anyway, thanks for having us. Listen, we have no desire to be difficult, and we understand that the height was an honest mistake by the architect, and it's big and it's moving over, but with the appropriate planting, I think that's fine. The real hot button for us is the tennis court, and given the overwhelming request for increased lot coverage, we're glad that they've withdrawn the request. So, we're okay with it.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions from members of the board? Is there anyone else from the public who is waiting to be heard this evening in connection with the application of 135 New Light LLC? This is for property located at 135 New Light Lane in Bridgehampton. If you're waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
No hands.
Okay. And Keith, it's yours.
When are you coming back?
We'll hold this over to, I'm not going to be at the first meeting in May, so we'll hold it over to 5/20.
And we'll plan on having everything submitted by then, so that we can, attempt to close this out.
All right. So you're good with 5/20, right?
Yes.
Joan, that works for you?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
That's a motion.
Second.
Mr. Tuthill.
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you all for being here this evening. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank
Adam?
you.
Thank you.
Adam, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are there written submissions with this or not? I'm sort of newbie, so
Well, we're doing, on all of the applications, we're doing written submissions till April 29th.
you mentioned that to them?
They're
Yeah.
coming back.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, on this one, we're not closing. They're coming back. on
Oh, okay.
May
Okay.
20th.
Got
It's
it.
not
All
actually
right.
being
Got it.
closed tonight. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Aye.
Okay. Have a good night.
Thanks.
All right. I think we're on to decisions. Well,
Okay.
I have a couple of them. Or why don't you go ahead and read yours, Michael? Also on that one,
Okay.
on the one you're reading, Michael, I'm recused. So Brian's going to do the vote on that one.
All right, thank you. I have a decision in the matter of the application of David Sherwood, 22 Bayview Road, Noyak, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map number 919-116. The subject premises is approximately 7,605 square feet. Parcel is located in the R15 zoning district. Applicant took title dated October 15th, 2020. This board finds the subject application to be a type 2 action under the state SECRA Act. At the public hearing, Mr. Sherwood presented that the existing house is currently 2,007 cubic feet into the pyramid zone, and he is requesting an additional 1,762 cubic square feet for this non-conforming lot and a 109 square foot rear lot coverage relief for the construction of a swimming pool. We found that this to pass the 5-part test. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the town code: 300-84D, pyramid height for proposed encroachment, the amount of 3,771 cubic feet, 2668 on the west side and 1,103 on the east side for a proposed 2-story dwelling on a non-conforming lot. And 330-77D, placement of an accessory building for a rear lot coverage of 25.4%, where a maximum of 20% is permitted on a non-conforming lot shown on the survey by Joseph Secafico of Colonial Surveying, dated 8/15/20, revived 12/8/20, and architectural drawings by David Sherwood, architect, dated 8/12/2020.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mr. Tuttle,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Miss Burgess,
Aye.
Miss Kern.
She's not.
I'm abstaining.
You're abstaining. Okay, just wanted for the record. Mr. Grossman abstains and the chair votes aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have a termination in the matter of the application of 89 Hayground Cove LLC. This is for property located at Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-102-314.46. This application is for property located at 89 Hayground Road, Watermill. The applicant here was seeking to clarify a previous decision as it related to compliance with the carriage house provisions, ultimately seeking a variance to transfer a Pine Barrens credit instead of a development right. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Southampton Town Code. Therefore, and for the aforementioned reasons, this board hereby amends ZBA decision number D020104 to grant relief from Town Code 339C1 to allow the transfer of a Pine Barrens credit instead of a development right from within the school district. All other provisions of and conditions of decision number D020104 remain in full force and effect.
Second.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Tuthill.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
No.
Ms. Kern.
Okay.
Chair votes aye. The other decision I have is on the matter of the application of John Lucas Jr. for property located at Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-3112.4. This application is for property located at 8 Noyak Avenue, Noyak. Applicant seeks variances in connection with a proposed pool house for corner clearance on a lot that is burdened by 3 front yards. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed 22 by 17-foot accessory building pool house. Relief from 33011 Residential Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for an accessory distance from street setback front yard of 20 feet where 50 feet is required. And 2, Town Code 33076D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and Town Code 33083C, yards, to allow the accessory building pool house to be located within the required front yard of the principal building. This board also grants relief from Town Code 330-103 corner clearance to allow the existing trees to remain in the corner clearance area. The granting of these variances is for structures as shown on the survey prepared by William R. Simmons, surveyor, dated January 30th, 2020, and the plans prepared by C.U. Liu, architect, dated March 17th, 2020, except that the kitchenette shown on the plans must be removed from the plans prior to the issuance of a building permit. The grant of this relief is also subject to other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises, including compliance with the comments provided by the building department. Specifically, 1, that the applicant secure a building permit for all structures built without a permit, outdoor barbecue/kitchen, removal of spa, prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy compliance for the accessory building, and 2, that the accessory building pool house not be used for sleeping and/or cooking purposes.
Second.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Tuttle.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Abstain.
Chair votes aye. All right, Anthony, you were quiet tonight.
Again, the few that I had were pulled off the agenda.
Oh, no. I'm sorry to hear. Okay.
That's all right. Next time.
Next time, definitely. All right. Well, we always greatly appreciate your partaking in our meetings. Okay. And Susan, hope you enjoyed your first CBA meeting.
It was great. Thank you. I have a lot to learn still, though, obviously. So sorry.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
I do have an idea. That's the problem.
It takes a while. It takes a while.
Motion to close.
Yeah.